The following is a special presentation of KDOW. Money Pulse. Monitoring the heartbeat of money. From Wall Street to Main Street to your wallet. Now here's your host, Dennis DeYoung.
All right, thank you for joining us. This is Dennis, your host on the Money Pulse. Today, I welcome Sarah Wright to the studio. Sarah, thanks for joining us today.
Welcome, Dennis. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Very exciting. I love to have the girls in the studio. So we're going to talk a little bit about your job. You've got a big fancy title job. Like I said, it was a little challenging for me to memorize this thing. So you're a shared service manager at the Governor's Office of Service and Community Engagement.
Yes, I am.
So what the heck is that? Like, that sounds really important. Can you tell us a little bit about what you do?
Absolutely. My role primarily entails managing platforms, administrating software, and the software I administrate helps us empower Californians to take action and promote volunteerism throughout the state.
Wow. Can you expand on that a little bit more for me?
Yes. Say you would like to plant some plants after a wildfire in your community, or say you'd like to volunteer with senior citizens, helping them with their arts and crafts. You can go onto our website, which is events.californiavolunteers.ca.gov, and find a volunteer opportunity in your region.
That's great. Could you give us that website one more time?
events.californiavolunteers.ca.gov.
That's awesome. So that's one of your little babies that you work on that you're in charge of?
I would say I support it, and the office is in charge of it.
Amen. Okay, so that sounds like education was definitely needed to achieve some kind of accomplishment of working in the governor's office. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So what kind of education does that entail, or at least what kind of education did you put yourself through?
Well, I'm a Bay Area native, and I started off in private school and in primary education, and then moved on to public school before heading out to Boston for my undergraduate.
Boston, that's a far way away.
Almost the furthest point within the continental. I just wanted to, gain some independence, gain perspective, become who I am supposed to be and who I am. So I attended Boston University and graduated with my undergraduate in business. Kind of worked through the Silicon Valley tech scene before deciding that the public sector is the best way to give back to our community and to the community that helped raise me. So heading into the governor's office, I began a master's degree program at California State Monterey Bay.
Nice. And
just completed my instructional science and technology master's. Now I will be heading into my PhD program at the University of Hawaii.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I'm loving this hybrid learning modality, learning primarily online with a few visits to Hawaii for school.
Darn.
Yeah, what a great reason to visit. And I'll graduate with a learning, design, and technology doctoral degree.
That's beautiful. You look like you belong in Hawaii.
Thank you. I do spend a fair amount of time in the sun. I knew that any school with good weather would be the right place for me.
Hey, coming from California, you really have to be picky. Okay, so that's really great. So you are continuing your education, not required, but you have found yourself in more of a giving back to the community kind of vibe, rather. That's what you want to do.
Yes. I took some time during the pandemic and thought about what was important to me. There's the social aspect that kind of ensures you have good mental health and good physical health. And I thought, well, how do we create a society to better all of our mental health, to really help advance our families, our economy? And I realized volunteering is such a large part of that. When you leave your house, where do you go and how do you build community? So I immediately sought companies who had good mission statements. And I realized the economic impact and what you can do with your profits is limited in comparison to having a mission that's focused on giving back. And when we give back in the public sector, it affects every single person who pays taxes or is a recipient of any type of tax-funded program.
That's awesome. And so just such a different direction and segue than I would have expected with your job title. And I think that that's wonderful and it's commendable. And we need more people like you in this public area for sure.
Well, thank you so much. And, I think when we start out in certain professions, oftentimes we pigeonhole ourselves and we say, okay, if I am in marketing, then I can only work at a marketing firm, or I can only work on global projects with a marketing campaign. And the truth is, as somebody who graduated with a business and marketing concentration degree, there is a message everywhere. Whether it is at the grocery store, whether it's at the park, whether you are reading your infotainment system as your car is turning on, there's a message and a slogan. Anything you can think of requires marketing. Transitioning into software administration, these days, to turn the lights on, software is required. Have you ever asked Alexa to turn the lights off for you?
I think my 3-year-old asks Alexa to do everything in the house. Yes.
Yeah. Well, imagine asking Alexa how you should install a solar panel. Even in our traditional industries, software could help. So
absolutely. I am guilty. Yeah. I'd learned a lot of things online like that, actually, now that you bring it up.
I'm starting to trust the internet more as opposed to just calling the person who knows how to do it best.
It's always good to have a professional, especially when it's with any kind of equipment, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you said you're working on your doctorate, and what PhD are you working on? What does that look like for you in the future?
Yes. For me, it looks like 5 years of full-time study, along with full-time work, while building experience in an industry that is ancillary to the tech industry.
Okay.
You have to learn to use any type of technologies.
Right.
It all is related, though. I hope to build professional experience teaching in higher education as well. So I'll also be interning as a teaching assistant and professor.
Okay. How do you get all these hours?
Well, they say there's only 24 hours in a day.
That's what I thought.
And business hours are shorter than 24 hours in some markets. Though, as we know, in business, the world doesn't sleep,
Right.
It's business hour. It's somewhere at some point in time or at the same time. And I found extra hours a day by attending University of Hawaii. Hawaii is several hours back.
You're a genius. I don't know if it's healthy, but you're a genius.
With a lot of planning, anything is healthy. Just have to know when to take a break and when to moderate.
Right. When to take a day off.
Yes. My days off are days off. Unplug, cannot be reached. Complete and total confidence in the fact that if I respond to a text message or an email or a phone call in several days, it will be okay.
It'll still be there.
Yeah.
Good for you. Gosh, Sarah, I had no idea. You have all these little secrets up your sleeve. So I would love to hear a little bit more about volunteering opportunities. If you could share, can you help us, encourage us, or just give us some ideas of what kind of volunteer work your events.ca.gov is looking for and how we can help out our community and make an impact?
Yes. At events.californiavolunteers.ca.gov, there are a multitude of organizations working within the climate action space to enable opportunities to garden, to potentially weed and clean up your communities, to host community events or attend community events. Maybe you'd like to, maybe you'd like to pass out candy on Halloween at a safe Halloween night. Safe Halloween nights oftentimes allow children to go to a kind of enclosed place with a ton of staff and trick or treat through different tables as opposed to trick or treat through miles of homes.
Kind of like at a school or community, place. Like this is what you're talking about, like an actual venue where they're hosting this kind of event?
Yes, schools or community places.
Okay.
So those go on throughout the year, and all you have to do is navigate to the website events.californiavolunteers.ca.gov and find the opportunity that's best for you.
Okay. And so a pastor that I know he could actually use his property and use that as a safe Halloween event space?
Oh, yes, he probably could.
You just have to go onto that website and check it out.
So the website hosts people who have partnered with California volunteers.
Understood.
Or organizations. And if you go to californiavolunteers.ca.gov, you can apply to partner with the state. Though I also volunteered and I interned with the County of Santa Clara Parks and Recreation Department.
Oh, that's great. That's in my neighborhood.
Perfect. Well, the Parks and Recreation Department hosts everything from a taste of water skiing, a taste of rowing, national night out events.
Oh, yeah, those are fun.
We just had one yesterday, and we were at the Mayfair Community Center, allowing kids to learn about birds as well as their eggs and matching the size of the egg to the type of bird.
How fun. Did you have an ostrich? Those things are huge.
We didn't have an ostrich egg. I think people would have guessed that one first.
I think that was the only one I would get.
We had a hummingbird egg, and it was the tinier than
Tiniest
my
little
pinky
thing.
fingernail.
That's what we would expect. So, Sarah, we're going to continue on here. We're going to take a commercial break. Thank you so much. I'm excited to hear more about opportunities, more about you. You're wonderful. Stay tuned, guys. We'll be back here with Sarah Wright. Thanks.
Money Pulse, KDOW's financial news magazine, monitoring the heartbeat of money from Wall Street to Main Street to your wallet. You're listening to Money Pulse on AM 1220 KDOW.
All right, we're back here with Sarah Wright from the governor's office, having some fun talking about how we can contribute to our people, our community, the places that build us. And so Sarah's been wonderful to share so many things. And I'd like to hear more, Sarah, about how we can get involved in our communities, how we can help contribute good to our societies, and just kind of if you can fill us in, because you're the girl to ask and you have all the knowledge I want to know. So tell me more.
Happy to provide the information.
Thank you. 411.
411, building equity in your community.
So important.
You know, our time is priceless, right? There are only so many hours in the day, and so few of them are filled with personal time, whether it's time for family, time for ourselves, and
right,
building our health, our wellness, or time for the community. And why not interweave every single aspect of what makes us happy? When you travel and you're looking for weekend destinations, what are you looking for? How do you determine if a weekend destination is safe?
Ooh, that is a great question. I am paranoid, so I do all the research. I won't get into it too much, but having children and being a woman and once upon a time being a single mom, there's a lot of research that I do, and sometimes we won't go if I don't know if there's a question mark. So yeah, tell me more about all of that.
Well, I'm thinking major holidays, right?
Right.
4th of July, Labor
Right.
Day, even New Year's and Christmas. Some of the safest places that we find are our traditional 4th of July parades hosted by the fire department with giant floats.
True.
Where you know there is a small community, a ton of Airbnbs, small local businesses to shop at, and people who are providing activities for your family, whether that be a doggy Easter egg hunt or
love those,
a kid Easter egg hunt. Kids are great too. Yet to have them, but I have participated in dog Easter egg hunts, and they are fun.
They are really fun.
Dogs are so
and,
smart.
Oh my gosh, dogs costume parades.
Yes.
I've done that before too. That's so cute. Kids are cute too. I have them.
Exactly. I mean, think about Halloween, right? Those costume contests and all of those events are typically free of charge for families or have a very low entry fee.
Right.
And that's because of our great volunteering community. When we invest our time, it brings in tourism revenue. And tourism revenue can be repurposed for community development, for education enhancements, such as new textbooks, new uniforms for the school, potentially a new park for your kids to play at. And that's, for me, as somebody who is a new homeowner, one of the biggest benefits of volunteering. I'm able to give back to all of the people who make my community so great. And the plus the bonus that no one thinks about is it builds equity in your local geography.
Right.
Ensuring that everything that you love continues perpetually in perpetuity.
I think that's something that's really great that you shed light on, because that is something that we all take for granted, I think. We don't think about at home in our space. We think about going away on vacation. I mean, I know my daughter's favorite spot is Hawaii, so you can relate, Maui specifically. But it is so important to get back to our community. It is wonderful, those parades that are held by, the community events people in your neighborhood or the fire department. And they do typically, you're right, seem the safest space. And they give back to the community. Absolutely great call out. So how are you, by learning more and advancing your education, how are you going to be able to contribute more to your passions of obviously giving back to your space and your community?
Well, studying learning design and technology, there are foundations in learning methods and educational theories. And when it comes to helping each other, our expertise is invaluable. When we are able to learn from experts, we can become experts ourselves quicker. So, for example, in Boulder Creek, we have a volunteer fire department. And these volunteer firefighters learn from volunteer firefighters and then go on to earn their doctorates in fire sciences and help create fire mitigation strategies that protect our entire state. So learning design and technology helps digitize this information, making it more globally accessible, and helps streamline the process in which we learn, whether it is implementing an easy to remember phrase, like easy as 1, 2, 3, and every single thing has 1, 2, and 3 steps, or different acronyms that can be adopted and easily recalled at the point of interaction. All of these methods I hope to share with these community organizations and make an impact by supporting those who are directly interacting with our communities. That
makes a great point. So I have a question now that you have mentioned all this. So you're talking about, efficiencies and proficiency and basically like putting the knowledge that we have in a container, not losing it, sharing it, growing it, continuing to grow it, continuing to share it, and continuing to blossom and evolve. So do you guys take advantage of any AI right now? Because I know a lot of for example, like HVAC companies, just like your fire department, like they would have, a condenser, for example, that was going out and there was like a problem shooting kind of thing, but only one like really old, OG technician knew how to do it. Everybody had to call that guy. And so now we see these companies working smarter, not harder, and efficiencies and proficiencies and all of that comes a lot with AI. Are you guys taking advantage, or are you utilizing personally anything in the AI department?
I utilize AI sparingly. Mm-hmm. And part of that is I'm still in my journey learning about the ethics of AI mm-hmm. and how we can pass off content that's generated on the internet as our own intellectual property. Mm-hmm. Though I find that when I'm speaking to people with intellectual knowledge, I go in with a question and I leave with many, many stories. Mm-hmm. So what I'll use AI to do is enter in all of my notes and ask the AI help me format them. So they can be given back, right? Mm-hmm.
Organize my thoughts. Please.
Yes. Organize your thoughts that were also my thoughts, our thoughts. It's open source, open community.
Yeah, true.
And from there, I kind of take those organized thoughts, create a curriculum around it. What's the order in which we should learn it for new people as opposed to the order it was remembered, and simplify it until it's easily understandable for any audience member.
Very important. Yeah, because I'm sure your thoughts are a lot more complex than what I would want to learn about your job.
My thoughts are well organized, so we're probably in the same boat here.
Maybe we'll do a little test here later on. My goodness. So what drove you to further your education? Because you don't necessarily need it, right, for your professional space. Why did you choose to continue education?
Yeah. If you'd asked me 10 years ago whether I wanted to be a doctor, I don't know that I could have answered yes or would have answered yes. Mm-hmm. I really found a passion for my education in volunteering with the community. It means so much to me to live in the same state where I grew up. And, as the roles reverse in my family, as I see my mom become older and I learn to care for her needs, I realize the community is such a large part of that. There is social interaction with your family, but there's also the safety aspect of, as the neighborhood ages and the community ages, how do we ensure it's still safe for senior citizens to walk outside at night alone? How do we ensure that the dog parks are clean and the little dogs have their own park and the big dogs have their own park?
Oh my gosh, yes, I know.
I mean,
so thoughtful.
As our seniors decide to go with smaller dogs, we want to make sure that when they walk into the park, they're approached by dogs that they can handle. Very specific example, but all of that is due to the commitment of our volunteers and of the other people who built our community. Some of those people go on to start professions in whichever aspects they volunteer in. And if I can help them learn in any way, make it easier, teach them something, then that's something I would dedicate my life to doing.
I love that. So can you give us that website one more time for volunteering? Because I think it's so important we know that.
Absolutely. The website is events.californiavolunteers.ca.gov.
And, you guys could meet this beautiful, wonderful Sarah Wright. I'm sure she's going to be there in the front lines volunteering on her own as well. Thank you so much, Sarah, for shedding some light on opportunities for us to make our space and our communities a better place. And thank you for all your contributions that you've personally made in your personal life and sacrifices to make our community and our spaces so much better.
You're welcome, Dynasty. And thank you so much for your community leadership, your invitation to share, and everything that you do for everyone you love.
Oh, thank you. And everyone, this is Sarah Wright again, and from the governor's office. We'll see you next time.
See you next time.
This has been Money Pulse, KDOW's financial news magazine, monitoring the heartbeat of money from Wall Street to Main Street to your wallet.